Okay, good day everyone from where you're joining us from. We are glad you are able to make it here today. This week we'll be starting a series on web development. And like you can rightly see, please, you can share the screen, the link. We'll be discussing on building a scalable web application using Python. Before then, we'll talk about the different things that comprise of a web application. Briefly, I'll be displaying the folder structure of what we'll learn this week. Permit me to share a window. You can invite your friends and your loved ones to join this section. Okay, this is the structure we'll be looking at this week. We'll be looking at HTML. We'll also look at Python. We'll look at WebPy. Also, we'll look at Flask. We'll look at Flask. We'll also look at django, and then we'll look at pyScript. I just pray we should be connected, that we should have the opportunity to go through this. So when HTML comes to your mind, what does it actually mean to you? HTML is just a markup language. It's just a markup language which you use to create web pages. I will show you illustration of markup languages, of HTML tags. Sorry, I will give it illustration of HTML tags. Then we'll do some HTML practice today. Then tomorrow we'll do a brief intro on Python. After that, we'll go into WebPy, Flask, and Django. The day of Django, we'll also be looking at pyScript, if time permits us. In this section, I'll be joined by some of my colleagues and professionals, Mr. Dobra, Ekeremo, and Mr. Charles Sedenu will all participate in this section, in this training. So kindly invite your friends, invite those you think are interested to join in this training. Meanwhile, we'll be having a little pause for us to share these details, and people can join immediately. Thank you. For those who join this streaming, you are welcome once again. We're in the process of going live training, hands-on practical training with HTML. So you'll be opportune to see some tags in HTML. You're opportune to get trained in Python, using Python to create web applications. We're just in the process of sharing the link more and more so that we can have more people to join this section and be profited. We want everyone to be carried along. Sorry for that. We want everyone to be carried along. So you can, I'll be sharing the link. If you get the link on WhatsApp, you can share the link also and encourage people to join. We are live on YouTube. We are also live on Google Meet. So any channel that is okay for you to join us, you can join us. We'll all do this together. As you join, kindly state your location and where you are joining us from, that is. Then tell us your expectation, what you are expecting to learn at the end of this segment of this 1 week free training. Okay, last training we worked on Python, data analytics or data analysis with Python. A lot of people were carried on the actual testify of the segments. The videos are on our YouTube channel, so you are free to watch them at your leisure and even share it. Okay, let me give you a brief about Hamplus Hub, what Hamplus Hub is all about. Hamplus Hub, we are a center where we promote tech. We promote tech using what we have. So we try to encourage people, all genders, all tribes, all religion, to embrace tech, because actually tech is the oil of today and of the future. Tech is the way to skate through. Tech is the way to skate through. So anything I want, I just need my tech, and I will be able to do that with ease. So we are known as a center for research, center for education, center for agile coding, as a center for collaboration, also as a center for training, and as a center for development. That's why you see the name React Dev. You see the name React Dev. So this is what we love doing. This is what we love doing. You can always contact us either online, or if you're in the location, you contact us, and you will be blessed through tech. You will be blessed through tech. We try our possible best to impact life. We try our possible best to impact life and to encourage people to embrace tech, not to go into social vices, but to use tech for legitimate events. Okay, good morning, thank you for joining. So on the screen you see what we'll be looking at this week. In this training we'll be looking at HTML, we'll be looking at Python, we'll be looking at WebPy, we'll be looking at Flask, and also we'll look at Django. Then we'll also look at pyScript if time be. Now someone might say, what is HTML? Today we'll be giving you the basics, the theory, and maybe we'll do one or two practice, but let's get the understanding of the theory. HTML is actually just a web markup language we use to create web pages, and very soon HTML6 will be released, but presently we have HTML5, and there are some synthetic tags that I use in HTML5 that makes things very good. HTML5 tries to simplify the process. Instead of involving yourself in CSS or going through JavaScript, use HTML5 tags and their attributes. Like a very good example, you can specify regular expression. You can specify regular expression in HTML5, and you just be surprised that your input is scaling to a particular pattern. HTML5 allows you to do that. HTML5 also allows you to, apart from perform regular expression, it allows you to perform the auto capitalize and autofocus. You know, we go through JavaScript or CSS to ensure that they have this autofocus. However, in HTML5, you can specify the attribute autofocus on your input tag, and it will just, once the page loads, it will be focused. That particular input will take the first focus. So after going through HTML today in a brief way, we'll go through Python tomorrow. Then we'll look at some basic data types which will be very important in web application development. We'll look and try to understand Python. Then after which we'll look at PyWeb. PyWeb actually is a framework used for the development of websites relying on Python. We have it that it's a web framework for Python, and it is very simple. It's very simple to use. We'll show you that, how to use that, and it is built on the concept of MVC, that is Model View Controller. MVC, if you've used any of these frameworks, maybe like PHP, using frameworks in PHP for your web development, you understand what MVC is all about. Okay, also we'll look at Flask, how to use Flask for web application. I've used Flask a lot to build simple web application. The last application I built with Flask was on blockchain. I use it to demonstrate what blockchain is and the concept of blockchain. We'll be showing you that. Then on the fifth day, we'll show you Django, how to use Django framework. So we are just showing you all these frameworks just for you to choose the particular framework you want to use in Python. All the frameworks are good. Whichever you understand is okay, but you just need to master one so that you'll be able to do others and do your web application. Then if time permits, on the fifth day we'll look at PyScript. PyScript was just recently launched. I think it will be 4 weeks or more than a month now that it was launched. It's called Python on the web, where you can use Python to perform. You can do some Python coding on your browser, Python on the browser. Use it, and it interacts with JavaScript. It interacts with JavaScript to make that possible. Okay, so I'll be sharing a screen now which will just dive into HTML. We'll look at HTML. If you have any question, you can ask your question. You can tell us what you are expecting at the end of this training, what you are expected to learn at the end of this training. Okay, so let me show you my screen. Okay, on the screen, if you can see the screen, you have Visual Studio being shown on the screen. Visual Studio Code, that is the editor I'm using, and we'll use this in all our training. We use this in our training. In this Visual Studio Code, I will start by introducing HTML. Make do with some HTML tags. Then, if time permits, we can give a brief intro on Python pending tomorrow. Okay, so the first thing I have to install Visual Studio Code. I'll go to Visual Studio Code, the website. Once I install the installation picks the bits of the system automatically, so I don't need to stress myself to specify the bit. I'll just have to choose the operating system of my system, of my laptop, so it installs the right version for me that is compatible with my laptop. So after the installation, normally I'll create a folder. You should know how to create a folder. If you don't know how to create a folder, if you are creating a folder on your desktop, you right click and you click on new, then click on folder. Then after the folder is created, you can drag the folder down to the icon of VS Code, or you can right click on the folder, and then after right clicking on the folder, you'll be allowed to open it with VS Code. You open it with VS Code. Okay, so on the screen you can see my VS Code. Please just let me know if you can see the VS Code. Can you see the VS Code? Please, I want to know if you can see my VS Code. Can you see my VS Code? Okay, I believe you can see the VS Code. So I'll start work. So this icon, I'll click on the new icon. The first page on the website is known as index. So I'll give it the name index.html. Then it will open. Once it is opened, all I have to do is I can specify my HTML, and it will bring out the suggestion for me, HTML5. I press my enter key. Then I have the basic template of the basic structure of HTML on my screen. So this title, let's start by explaining the tags we see here. Okay, this doc type tells the browser that it is an HTML, that is the type of the document. Why the HTML the HTML tag begins and ends every HTML page. So in the tag we have an attribute which is lang, which specifies the language of that HTML page. It specifies the language. Good. Then after the HTML tag, we have the head section. The head section comprises of those things that search engines like Google or Microsoft Bing uses to index your page, your web page. A good example of it is the meta tag. What you see, what you put in the head tag is not shown in the web page. The only two attributes the only two tags that you have in the head section that is visible in the web page is seen in the tab of the web browser. And these are the title and the favicon. That's what we see. So we have this here. To create this, I can just say, okay, let me create this. I'll call this web app. That's the title. I call it web app Python. Web app Python. Good. So let me open it with a live server. No, when I'm done, I open with the live server. Good. Now in the body section, there are a lot of tags that can be in the body section. Okay, let me go back. I see someone just asked, what about the other tags that can be in the head section? Yeah, in the head section, we can also have the style tag. We can have the style tag where we specify our CSS. You have the style tag. You can also have the scripts where you specify your scripts. You can have the script tag where you specify your string. Then another tag you can have here is the link tag. And in this link tag, you use it to either link your CSS. If your CSS is an external CSS, maybe a CSS is in another file, a CSS file which is in another location, that's an external CSS, or a CSS